Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters, can we first start off with the Surah Fatiha for our oppressed brothers and sisters around the world, please? I'd like to thank all of you for coming here today and joining us on this beautiful gathering. It's amazing when we have such an amazing turnout. Honestly, it really throws me back. I'm here to talk about Medina Institute today, and we want to thank a couple of people before even starting. We want to thank our dear respected Shaykh for coming and joining us here today, and we want to thank Kiel for actually hosting us here today and working with us very well and thoroughly as well. The surah that was just read was Surah Maryam, and subhanAllah, what an amazing surah. We just did a tafsir course over the weekend in Aston University, and I believe I did see some of you who attended, and I'm sure you're aware how amazing that event was. Now, Medina Institute is an organisation which is bringing revolutionary teaching to the UK. We're an institution which is based all around the world. We're in South Africa, we're in Canada. We've got a little motto, and some of the volunteers, they go with it, Medina Institute coming to a town near you, and pretty much that's us. We're literally bringing our education, the traditional Islamic education, in a way which us students are used to, the lecture-based learning, where we have a pen and paper in front of us, because some of us find it hard to be sitting on the ground and learning as well. Thus, we have today here just a little taster of what Medina Institute has to offer. I don't want to take too much of your time, honestly, because we have very little time to speak, and I want our Shaykh to speak as much as possible. So I hope you all have an amazing time at this event, and inshallah we'll hope to see you soon in some more of our events. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum again. I'm just going to introduce the Shaykh. Not that he can't introduce himself, just because I've been told to. So Shaykh Muhammad actively teaches and participates in conferences worldwide, and his lectures are highly academic yet spiritual, filled with references to the Quran and the Sunnah. His aim is to draw people closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, which will help rebuild the individual, families, communities, societies, and the universe. This is the need of our time. His education began under the tutelage of his honourable father Shaykh Yahya, under whom he started memorizing the Quran and acquiring knowledge of Islamic disciplines including Aqidah, Fiqh, Hadith, and Islam. Shaykh Muhammad continued pursuing Islamic knowledge from the many great scholars who resided in Mecca, Medina, Morocco, Egypt, and Syria, and went on to study at Al-Azhar University at the Faculty of Usul al-Din, specializing in Hadith. He holds a doctorate degree in medicine and a bachelor's degree in microbiology from the US. Shaykh Muhammad is keen to revive the prophetic message of love, mercy, moderation, tolerance, and sincere care of humanity through education with a back-to-basics methodology. Shaykh Muhammad bin Yahya al-Husayni al-Ninowy descends from a Syrian scholarly family whose lineage goes back to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam through Imam Hussein bin Ali radiyallahu anhu. So thank you for coming again, and inshallah, without further ado, I'd like to let the Shaykh take it.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما والحقنا بعبادك الصالحين. أما بعد فالسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. So let me just thank you all for coming anyway on is it a Monday? It's a Monday. Sorry, I've been traveling, and you know when you go across the Atlantic, day becomes night, night becomes day, and everything is just whatever. So thank you all for coming out on a Monday, for answering the call. I appreciate that. I appreciate your time, you being here, and it's nice to be at, I think this is our second time, it's nice to be at Kiel. University, small but a pretty campus, I like to put it that way. But the best is the companionship. So may Allah bless you for coming, and I'd like to remind myself and you to make an intention that we gather here today just to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this way, and with the intention of both of us seeking knowledge, inshallah, through the book and the sunnah. This way, inshallah, that Allah rewards us and grants us the reward of those who seek knowledge, as the hadith that the Nabi Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam mentioned. Hadith al-Sahih, you all know it, narrated في مسلم والترمذي وغيره بإسناد صحيح. يقول فيه صلى الله تعالى عليه وآله من سلك طريقا يلتمس فيه علما. Whoever seeks a way to acquire knowledge, Allah grants a way in return to Jannah, or makes it a way to go to Jannah. So this is really the whole point that we're here together today, and inshallah Allah makes it that way and grants us the reward for that. Other than that, disregard whatever. Most of the brother, Allah bless him, he said all these fancy words that I'm not worthy of, for sure. And the first few lines, I thought that I could really solve the whole problems of the world by that, you know, and the universe, actually, since the universe was mentioned. So, you know, Allah forgive it's not his fault, obviously. I don't think he wrote it, but whoever wrote it, that was ignorant on their side, just simply because we're human beings and we don't have any magic pills. All right? And knowledge is to be humble. Knowledge is not to go about in big names. And I told, if it's some of my students who did that, please point them out to me.
I'm not good at grass.
Okay. Because it's nice for us not to fly all the time. It's nice to walk. Right? It's nice to fly every time. We've been flying throughout history. And we live in history because we don't want to face reality. But it's not nice to always bring history into reality. Therefore, because if you do that, you're not going to live, you're not going to learn from your history, and you're never going to learn from your presence, and you're going to miss out planning for the future because you're delusional then. Knowledge makes people humble, doesn't make them arrogant. And titles and descriptions never make people knowledgeable. They're never a reflection of who you are or what your knowledge is. Besides, knowledge is not really that important anyway. Knowledge is only important if it's coupled with application. Iblis had knowledge, didn't have application. And therefore Quran al-Karim never stops at الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. But always, like the brother was mentioning, was reciting, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا wa عَمِلُوا. There has to be amal. It's just not the word. So, you know, I know all of you are scholars in your field. Allah bless you for all that, and that's great. And being scholars, obviously, in your field means you're truthful to your field. And therefore, being truthful to ourselves. So they want me to talk about the heart, I guess, and the problems of the heart and all that stuff. Allah. That's actually, you know what, we can connect this with this. And here's the hadith that Imam Muslim and others narrated, and you all know the hadith where Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَنظُرُ إِلَىٰ صُوَرِكُمْ وَلَا إِلَىٰ أَجْسَادِكُمْ وَلَكِنْ يَنظُرُ إِلَىٰ قُلُوبِكُمْ وَأَعْمَالِكُمْ. And this hadith is beautiful, in which Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, Allah does not look at your suwar. Suwar means how you look, or how you were made to look. إِلَىٰ صُوَرِكُمْ وَلَا إِلَىٰ أَجْسَادِكُمْ. Does not look at your bodies, does not look at your shapes, does not look at how you look, does not look at your pictures. وَلَكِنْ يَنظُرُ إِلَىٰ قُلُوبِكُمْ وَأَعْمَالِكُمْ. But he looks at two things: your hearts, your deeds. And then the narration in Muslim where Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, التقوى هاهنا, 3 times. He says, taqwa is in the heart, taqwa is in the heart, taqwa in the heart. 3 things. So here we go, and Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is telling us that Allah لا ينظر إلى صوركم ولا إلى أجسادكم. Allah does not look at your bodies, and does not look at what you look like, or how many titles you have before or after or in the middle of your name. All these things make no difference. What does he look at? Your heart. And then your amal. Notice, why does he say here heart and then deed? Well, remember this again, the surah that was just recited, and Surah Al-Asr, all of you know. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, wal-Asr, innal insana lafi khusrin illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat. Al-Iman is, where is the essence of Iman? Is in the heart. The essence of Iman starts in the heart. Ma'rifatun bil-qalb, the narration goes to say. Right? So it's ma'rifah in the heart. So there you go. So Allah does not look at you, how you look and at your bodies, but look at your heart and your deed. Because that's looking at the Iman and the Amal. Heart is where the Iman is, and the Amal, the deed, is what confirms the heart and the belief of the heart. The heart is a problem. Any of you study medicine or pre-medicine here again? Yeah? How far? Pre-med? Third year med? So you're already in clinical sciences? So you're taking cardio? Alright, so those of you who are taking the cardiovascular system. It's the cardiovascular system, right? It's not just the heart. Because you got the vessels, you got the heart, and then you got electricity in there. There's the intrinsic conduction system of the heart, right? You all know that. Because the heart has an automaticity and rhythmicity within itself. So if you were to sever the heart from any and everything, it still beats. It should, at least, theoretically speaking. That's why you can plant it without anything. Just take from one planet and the other. Automaticity and rhythmicity, and that's because it's got an intrinsic conduction system, right? The SA node that fires to the AV with a slight delay, 0.2, and then it goes to the bundle branches, right and left, right? 100 to 60 per minute, then 40 to 60, and then less than 40. And Allah help you if there's no coordination. If there's no coordination in the intrinsic system of the heart doesn't beat, it goes into flutter. Becomes ineffective, person dies. Because there's no coordination. There's no structure. This one is beating on its own, this is beating on its own. The ventricles are beating along, the atria are beating along. It doesn't work. But this cardiovascular system, or this heart that we're supposed to be talking about, is not necessarily just a muscle. Now, medicine can only tell you that the heart is actually a muscle. In fact, now they're changing their views to say, well, it's not just a muscle, it's also an endocrine gland. An endocrine gland means it's a gland that secretes hormones, right? Versus exocrine. So one has canal, one does not have canals, one dumps immediately in the blood, one goes through. Endocrine gland means secretes hormones, because the heart actually does secrete a hormone. ANP, atric natriuretic peptide, right? What does it do? Flushes down sodium. It means flushes down water as well. So it doesn't only pump. We always thought, for the longest time, we thought the heart, all it does is just pumps blood to the body. That's how, and blood, obviously you all know that blood carries oxygen and nutrients to your cells, so that's how it goes. It turns out that the heart doesn't only do just pump. It's not just a pump. It actually also secretes hormones. When you're secreting hormone, it means that you're sensing the whole situation in the body, and based on that, you secrete it when it's appropriate. Only Allah knows what we're going to discover tomorrow. Right? I always say there's so many things in medicine where people say, the most experts of medicine, but that's not just in medicine, you all know this. The more you know, the more you realize how much you don't know. And the less you know, the more you think you know everything. That's really how it is. Anywhere. And therefore, right, in medicine they say it's iatrogenic etiology. The etiology is iatrogenic. Iatrogenic means nothing. It means we don't know what it really is, so we're just going to call it one big fancy name that you people, laymen, don't know what it means, and you think it's really big. We don't know. And there are many things we don't know. But we do know Al-Quran divides the heart, now not the cardiovascular pump, or the heart as an endocrine gland, but the heart as the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentions in hadith also, which is sahih, Sahihain, where he says, ألا وإن في الجسد مضغة إذا صلحت In the body there's something. If it is good, then the whole body is good. If it is bad, the whole body is bad. What is it, Ya Rasulullah? Al-qalb, the heart. Now, some people will go to say, it's not necessarily the cardiovascular one, it's just the spiritual heart, it's the soul. I just say the heart because the Prophet ﷺ says the heart. Now, what does that mean? Is it meant this heart that we will discover eventually other things that we don't yet know? Only Allah knows. But the point you all know. And that's why you all know about Luqman Hakim, right? Right? They say Luqman was a black man, supposedly. I'll just tell you the story. I don't tell stories, I'll tell you the story. So he's a black man. He was supposedly enslaved. And this has no sanad, huh? Take it or leave it. So, it's one of these things. Well, you don't have to take it. So his slave master supposedly told him, upon slaughtering, offering sacrifices, sheeps, says, go get me the most pure things in the human being. So he went, he offered the sacrificial lamb, and he got him the heart and the tongue. He says, here's, the heart and the tongue are the purest thing that a human being can have. He says, okay, go get me now the most vile, filthiest thing in the human being. He went, he offered the sacrificial lamb, he brought them the heart and the tongue again. He says, what's going on here? He says, this is really it. It's the heart and the tongue. If they're good, everything's good. If they're vile and evil, everything's evil. There's no need to look any further. It's done. And in the tongue, you all know hadith that's authentic. Hadith Mu'adh radiallahu anhu, where Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he tells him, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells Mu'adh to make sure what he's saying, because what you say is important, right? The mere words are very important. Oftentimes we don't really think about the words, right? We just say things. But Mu'adh radiallahu anhu was trying, he says, Ya Rasulullah, are we going to be accountable by what we just say? And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells him in the authentic narration, Wayhak, aw thakalatka ummuka ya Mu'adh. Woe to you, O Mu'adh. Don't you know that what makes people being dragged in the day of judgment on their faces is simply the consequences of what they said? But wait, the word comes from where? When do you utter the word? You think and then you say? Usually, right? Yeah. Usually, a word is an expression of a thought. Supposedly, usually, most people think before they speak. I know you all do. But regardless, I mean, usually it's a thought, whether you bring it in your heart or not. That tells you the power of the thought. Detrimental. Where are the thoughts? Where's the intention? When you make intentions, where is the place of the intentions? On the tongue? Can you make an intention for salah by your tongue only and that's it? No. Where is the place for intentions? In the heart. So even if you don't utter the intention whatsoever, you just intend in your heart that you're going to pray, did you fulfill all the conditions for intentions? For the niyyah? Absolutely. النية محلها القلب. Because the word is in the heart. It's the word that you actually speak is an expression of that word that's in the heart. But it starts in the heart. You express it. You feel love towards someone in your heart. Then you say, I love you. No, you feel hate towards someone in your heart. You say, I really hate you. You're expressing what's in your heart. You shouldn't really hate anybody. Hate is a strong word, but I'm just saying, you want to love everybody. Al-qalb, and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam puts it like if this story is authentic about Luqman, then puts it as such. that this heart, if it's good, then everything else is good. If it's bad, no matter how much you beautify the rest of the limbs and no matter how much cosmetics you put on the rest of the body, it makes no difference. You can't fool anyone, because Allah does not look at your body, but looks at your heart. Notice, we go back again to the very first thing that we started with. Alright. So Al-Quran Al-Kareem gives us three kinds of hearts. And I'm not talking now from a connective tissue point of view. I'm talking actually from three kinds of hearts in general. A heart that is healthy, Salim. Salim. Salim in the Arabic. Anybody's name Salim here? All right. People name Salim, right? I mean, I'm sure you've seen people named Salim. Salim means healthy or illness-free, let's say. That's what Salim means. And then that's why you say Ma'as Salama in Arabic. I don't know, those of you who are Arabs know this. And that's why you say Salam, peace, right? Free, illness-free. Qalb Salim. Qalb means heart, Salim means illness-free. Alright? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about this heart. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَإِنَّ مِن شِيعَتِهِ لَإِبْرَاهِيمَ إِذْ جَاءَ رَبَّهُ بِقَلْبٍ Salim. From the Shia of Nuh, the meaning of the ayah, yani from the people who are loyal and supportive of Nuh, وَإِنَّ مِن شِيعَتِهِ لَإِبْرَاهِيمَ. Ibrahim is among those people, alayhi salam, who was on the same line of Nuh. He's among the supporters of Nuh. He's from the same tree of Nuh per se. إِذْ جَاءَ رَبَّهُ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. Ibrahim went to his Lord with a heart, qalb, Salim. Al-Qalb Salim, that's the first kind of heart. May Allah give us all that heart. Now this heart has characteristics. You have to be like on the line of Ibrahim. Huh? Line of Tawheed. Ibrahim, I always say, the hero of Tawheed في Quran Al-Kareem, right? When you open up the Quran and you talk about Tawheed and how from when he was young, he took the axe. Remember when he took the axe and he broke all the idols and all that? He's trying to instigate in these people a thinking method. Come on, let's just think. Let's just not do things without thinking. So he broke the idols, and then he put the axe with the big one, and he left him. He says, go ask him. You believe in you believe in them as gods, right? These idols. So go ask them. They should tell you. How can you believe in something that can't protect themselves? He's trying to tell them implicit ideas. You worship these idols, and they're broken. That means they couldn't even protect themselves. How can they protect you? Alright, so he's going through, and then ask them, you worship something you don't know, you can't communicate, they cannot help you, cannot benefit you, etc., etc. Then he goes and talks to the people who used to worship the star. You all remember that, right? Surah Al-An'am. And Najm. They look, because people always want to sort of worship something, they comprehend fully and manipulate the information about fully. If they can't submit, the human being's curiosity seems to sort of reject it. No, doesn't work. And that's why Islam means what? Submission. Right? It actually means two things. It means, Islam comes from salam, which means peace, inner peace, tranquility. And it means istislam also, which means submission and surrender. Peace and submission. That's really the linguistic stem word of Islam. And they're not totally disconnected in a sense. They actually are connected in a sense that the only way you can achieve spiritual tranquility and comfort and inner calmness is if you are in total submission to the Creator. With submission, there is peace. With no submission, there is no peace. Salam istislam. ولا تسلم قدم الإسلام إلا على ظهر التسليم والاستسلام. Very nice. In Islam we came, obviously the Quran Kareem came to say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدَ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. And the ayah that the brother recited, هَلْ تَعْلَمْ لَهُ سَمِيًّا, and the translation says, do you know anyone named like him? And I disagree with the translation, because it should be, do you know anyone similar to him? As-Sami comes from a nadhir, or someone who's similar, not just by name, but by qualities. Do you know anyone similar to the attributes of Allah? Not just the name of Allah, but the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ, nothing is like him. As Allah says in Surah Shura. هَلْ تَعْلَمْ لَهُ سَمِيًّا, do you know anything similar to him? Alright. The first heart is the Al-Qalb Al-Salim, ill-free, disease-free heart. How is that heart disease-free? Because the heart's frequency, the frequency of that heart as far as what it is with Allah, for the sake of Allah. It is not disconnected and detached from Allah. It is a Rabbani heart. It is a heart that in which is attached to the Creator and detached from the creation. Detached doesn't mean in a sense out of the creation and secluded. No, 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 no. It means you work with the creation, but you are with the Creator. It means you love the Creator, you are in the servitude of the creation, but you love the Creator. It means you work with the creation, but you don't rely on the creation. You rely on the Creator. It means the perception, your perception in the creation mind is not important for you. What's important for you is how is your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the pleasure of the creation is not your objective, but pleasing the Creator is your objective. Salim. So, why disease-free? Because you see, when you rely on the creation, you can't please them. You can't please people. How many people can you please? Right? You can't please people. You all know that. Right? You know this another story. Should I tell you another story of Luqman? How much time do I have? How much time do I have? So I don't spend all the time. Half an hour? Okay, so let me tell you the story of Luqman. So هذا Luqman alayhi salam, it's an old story, you'll probably all know it, but should I tell it to you or not? You sure? Okay. So Luqman alayhi salam, he wanted to teach his son a lesson, his young son. So he took him. Luqman was an old man. His son was a very young man. He took him, he says, all right, let's now go through a little trip to teach you lessons about life. It was 3. Luqman alayhi salam, again, there's no sanad in this, huh? So take, among these things, take or leave. It's in the seerah books and all these things. It's not a part of the deen per se, it's just a thing that we learn from. It's sahih in its meaning anyway, irrespective of that. You see it every day in life. There was Luqman alayhi salam, the old man. There was the son of Luqman. There's the donkey, because that was the means of commute back then, right? You commute with donkeys. So he said, you know what? I'm gonna ride the donkey. You pull the donkey and let's go. So Luqman went on a donkey, and his young son is pulling the rope, and they're walking. As soon as they pull to the first village, people gather. They say, SubhanAllah, look at this old man. There's no mercy in his heart. He is riding comfortably the whole way, and he's letting this young poor son, you know, just being dragged like this and without any mercy. Look at these parents nowadays. Look at how they don't really care about anything anymore. They only care about themselves. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-ali al-azim. Dunya is over. Huh? This is the sign. He says, okay, see? So now let's switch. So now they switch. Now the son rides on a donkey and Luqman pulls the mule. As soon as they go out and they pull into the next village, people gather. Subhanallah, look at these, look at the young generations, look, there's no respect for their parents anymore. He lets this little kid, he's letting his old father walk, and he's sitting comfortably on the donkey like this. La hawla wa la quwwata, that's it, forget the generation is done. It's over. He says, see, you can't. He says, now let's both get on the donkey. So they both got on the donkey. As soon as they pull to the next village, people say, they gather and say, Subhanallah, you people have no mercy in your heart. Man, this is an animal, it has a soul, it has a capacity, it's not for you to abuse. This is flat out animal abuse. Both of you already give him a break. Now, Allah did not create him for you to torture him. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. You will have, there's hisab, there's iqab, you know. He says, look. He says, now let's both get off the donkey. Walk. So they both now got off the donkey and they're both pulling the donkey and walking. As long as they pull to the next village, people gather, they start laughing at this. You people are crazy. Allah created these things so you can ride them. People are, what's wrong with you? You have no hikmah. You can't please people. So quit trying. Quit wasting your time. I'm not saying don't be nice to people. You got to be nice to people. You gotta be the best you are to people, because that's what Islam wants you to be. But you can't worry about pleasing everyone, because you will not be able to please everyone. It doesn't happen. Worry about pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that's that, and being good to people. That's important. Al-qalb al-salim, the one who has qalb salim, this person is qalb is with Allah, attached. He sees things and he views things from that Rabbani binocular that he's got. Is that pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Is that not pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? The heart reacts. Rabbani heart. Not only that, among the signs, so we know we can check our heart. So let's try to make it more diagnostic here. So if we can, right? Differential diagnosis. Well, let's just at least give one sign and some symptoms, right? Some symptomology here. What's the sign of a qalb salim? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. إذا ذكر الله وجلت قلوبهم وإذا تليت عليهم آياته زادتهم إيمانا. If Allah is mentioned, Allah says وجلت قلوبهم. Their hearts move. Now, I'm not talking about flutter here or arrhythmia, but your actual heart shape. You register. It's not just stopping at your ears. No, it's going to your heart. If Allah is mentioned, وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُمْ. Their hearts shake. وَإِذَا تُلِيَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُ. When the ayah of the Quran are recited, it somehow, these ayahs, they don't just come to the ears and they stop there. They go to the heart and it increases their iman, as if the ayahs are nur coming out and they go through your ear and they land in your heart, increasing your iman. Al-Quran Kareem talks about signs of the Al-Qalb al-Salim. And today you gotta check your heart to see if you have Qalb Salim or not. When the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioned, when the name of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is mentioned, how's your heart? Because the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells us in the ahadith that are authentic, hasan, etc., that the miser is the one that hears my name and, in other words, my words now, quote unquote, his heart doesn't move by making salah and salam on me, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It doesn't get to your heart to make to make you make salah and salam on him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It just comes to the ear and it drops from your ear. It doesn't go inside. So it doesn't elicit that love, because if it goes to your heart, it rekindles a love. It stimulates within you. If you truly love him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it should stimulate within you that ma'ani, these meanings of shawq and meanings of yearning and meanings of wanting to be with him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and meaning of wanting to see him in your dreams, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and meanings of wanting to be close to him, and meanings of imbibing the noors from him and from his message, and therefore meanings of how was he, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that he loved you before you could even ever love, and he gave you before you could ever give. And then your tongue of thankfulness automatically comes out by saying, Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala. But if it just comes to the tongue, to the ear, and just drops, the qalb is not salim. The heart is just detached, disconnected. And in spiritually speaking, the automaticity and the rhythmicity we talked about, medically speaking, does not exist spiritually. There's got to be connection. It cannot be disconnected. There's a block. They call it heart block. There's first degree, second degree, and third degree. Third degree, goodbye. Because everyone's on their own, there's nothing. Second degree, you have some missed beats. Huh? Right, you got for second degree 1, type 1, second degree type 2. What's the type 2? So just one drop now, put them on the spot now. One drop beats. And when you have prolonged PR interval, and then drop, and then drop beat, or absolutely just drop beats, your heart is not beating. Electricity is not going there, therefore it's not beating. That means there's a block here spiritually from your ear to your heart. You hear the name of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but your heart is not beating, it's not reacting, it's dead. The problem with the heart disease is two things, chronic and progressive. Y'all know what chronic means, right? Progressive, and you know what progressive means. In other words, once it starts, it's just going down, unless you actually do something to stop it. Because Allah said, that's not my words, Allah said, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٍ فَزَادَهُمُ اللَّهُ مَرَضًا. Their hearts are diseased, and Allah increased their disease. Chronic and progressive. في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم. Eventually. If the heart moves when you hear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name and dhikr, and the heart moves when you hear the name of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, then those are signs that your heart is salim. First heart. Second heart, dead heart. ختم الله على قلوبهم. The heart is sealed. So sealed, it's dead. There is nothing. قالوا قلوبنا غلف. Our hearts are sealed. They're dead. You know, when Musa alayhi salam was telling them about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and what they should be, Bani Israel, what they tell him? They said, look, Musa, قلوبنا غلف. Talk all you want, our hearts are dead. There's not, whatever you want, just say. Huh? قلوبنا غلف. بل لعنهم الله بكفرهم فقليلا ما يؤمنون. Why? Huh? And then جعلوا أصابعهم في آذانهم. The Quran talks about Nuh alayhi salam. You know, he's telling people, so they don't want to even hear him. So they put their fingers in their ears so they don't hear anything. They want to suffocate their heart so the heart dies. القلب الميت, or the dead heart, like Allah says, ختم الله على قلوبهم. That is, it's done. The death certificate has already been sealed and stamped on their heart. It's done. Huh? Those guys, no matter what you do, I mean, you can read the whole Quran in front of him. He can be doing the salah. In the salah, he's thinking, how is he going to disobey Allah right after that? No problem. No, in the salah. Allahu Akbar. Yeah, I'm going to. You know, this guy is evil in front of me. This guy. You are in the salah. Dead hard. In the siyam. There's just lying and cheating and deceiving, all these things. Dead. The problem with the dead heart is the shu'ur is lost. Shu'ur means what? Feeling. How so? Right, you all know also from medicine, if you have pain, a disease, an underlying condition, an underlying pathology with pain, or a painless pathology, which one would you like to have? Neither, right? That should be the answer. An underlying pathology with pain that is good versus a painless underlying pathology. If it's painless, there is serious, you're in trouble. Right? Pain is your system trying to tell you, look, there's something wrong here. Hello, pay attention. You there? Right? Come on. But what we do, we go down to the pharmacy and get painkillers. You're doing it the other way around. You're supposed to pay attention to the pain, not to the symptoms. Pain is actually good for you in a sense. It's trying to tell you there's something wrong with me. Pay attention to it. Treat it. And then I'll go away by myself. It's a Rabbani alarm. But anyway, you know, if we think if one aspirin is good, that means 10 aspirins are good as well. So we just, you know, that's a lethal dose almost. Goodbye the liver. ASA, right? Anyway. The problem with the heart that is dead, there's no more feeling. Look at how Allah puts it in the Quran. So first we talked about al-qalb al-salim. وَإِنَّ مِنْ شِيعَتِهِ لَإِبْرَاهِيمَ إِذْ جَاءَ رَبَّهُ بِقَلْبٍ سَلِيمٍ. Then we talked about the heart that's dead. خَتَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ قَالُوا قُلُوبُنَا غُلْفٌ. What is the sign of qalb salim? وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ لَا تُفْسِدُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. When they're told, look how Al-Quran puts it, because Al-Quran is really, it touches reality. If they're told, don't do fasad, fasad means corruption. Don't do fasad on earth. قَالُوا إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. They said, what fasad are you talking, what corruption? We are good people, we are the positive contributors. Allah says, أَلَا إِنَّهُمْ هُمُ الْمُفْسِدُونَ. Indeed, they are the people who cause corruption and evil. But what's the problem? وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. But they don't even feel that they do evil. Wow, wait a minute. Remember, you're supposed to, if you see it, Hadith Sahih, you all know it, if you see something wrong, you correct it with your hand or with your tongue or the least with your heart. Remember that Hadith? Yeah? So what happens if your heart is dead? You can't correct it. There's no correction. There's no stimulation for correction. Now it goes worse than that, to think that what you do, the wrong that you do is right. You have no more feeling or measurement to tell you that this is actually evil what you're doing. You enjoy the evil. Dead heart. People such as people who enjoy inflicting pain onto other people. Gossiping, hating other people, jealousy of other people. Look, nobody's telling you should not ask Allah for the best. Please do. But don't be angry at Allah's decree. He gave others things He didn't give you. Don't be angry because He gave them. Don't be suggestive to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. What do you mean being suggestive? By saying, you know, I deserve it. Why do they have? Why should she have it? She's trying to, you know, she shouldn't have that. It's not fair. I should have it. Don't be suggestive to the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala. You don't know. هذا قلة أدب مع الله. Lack of adab with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, obviously. To say the least. But thank Him for all He gave you. Then ask Him for the best. He gave you what you deserve and then some. I was telling the brothers and the sisters the other day in Birmingham just a couple of days ago, there's two secrets to this relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Love and gratitude. Love and gratitude. Mahabba and shukr. That's the key. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Amalu ala Dawood shukra. Allah says. O family of Dawood, if you want to be thankful, the Quran is saying, show me in deeds. Amalu. He didn't say just قولوا ala Dawood shukra. Say alhamdulillah. Everybody says alhamdulillah, but they mean all kinds of things. They're not even present with alhamdulillah. The heart is not present. The lips are just, it's a lip service. Alhamdulillah, and he's humming. You don't know what he's saying. And he's like he's supersonic. Brother, take it easy. There's no one after you. There's no one running. If there's no one running behind you with a baseball bat. Y'all play baseball here? No? Well, we play baseball in America. It's a big sport. But you all play the funny soccer thing where you hit the ball with your feet and head and all that stuff. Not what football's supposed to be like. Anyway. There's no one running behind you with the base. Why are you rushing? What's the point? That you want to have quantity or quality? Which one? Quantity doesn't make a difference. Quality. كم من فئة قليلة. قليلة. Few غلبت فئة كثيرة بإذن الله. They overcame lot more people because of the will of Allah. وقليل من عبادي الشكور. Few of my slaves are those who are thankful. See, the Quran always emphasizes on the quality, not the quantity. قليل, little, few. Not the quantity makes no difference. Always the quality. كم من فئة قليلة وقليل من عبادي الشكور وما أكثر الناس أكثر الناس ولو حرصت بمؤمنين. Not most people, even if you were to try, are believers or guided. Quality or quantity, it's a matter of quality. Don't rush. Take your time, because that time is very important. The problem with a dead heart is there's no more feeling anymore. There's no distinguishing right from wrong. Right is wrong, wrong is right, everything is so mixed. Total loss and confusion. Like those who are lost in the fog. When you're lost in the fog, you don't know where you're going. Second heart, third heart. القلب المريض, the sick heart. So first we went قلب سليم, قلب ختم عليه, or قلب dead. And then القلب المريض. في قلوبهم مرض فيطمع الذي في قلبه مرض. القلب مريض means diseased heart. There is a disease. This heart is not totally dead and it's not totally alive. It's got it's struggling. It has the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It has some of the love of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It has some of the love of the Quran, but also it has the love of other things. It wants to, it has love of itself. It's blind in a sense. You see, there's blindness. And the problem with blindness, or short-sightedness, myopia, right? Versus, anyway. So you have these hymenopsia, or you have halfway blind, you don't see the full visual field in front of you, right? You see half of the visual field. It could be problems there. Lateral genicular body, maybe, right? Yeah. And then if it's the way to the lateral side after the splitting, then it could be pie in the contralateral sky. All of that. All right. So you only see something, you don't see, you see just like a slice of pizza instead of seeing the whole full. Seeing half truth is usually no truth, because you're not seeing the full picture. If you look at the moon and you think that the moon is just the side, the whole moon is that side that is well illuminated and lit, well, you've missed on half of the moon, because the other half of the moon is absolutely dark. If you see the crescent and you think this is the moon, then you're also misguided. That's a visual impairment problem. You're not seeing the truth, because the moon is not really a crescent. What you're seeing out of it is just a crescent. There's another big side of the moon that you don't see. And the truth ought to tell you that the moon is not just a crescent. What you're seeing is just a crescent right now. The moon doesn't grow, doesn't eat to grow and all that stuff. The problem with this heart, it sees halfway. So sometimes it's got moments where it is with Allah, and then sometimes it's got moments where it is with its hawa and desires, and it's led by whatever it is, that the self-realization of the self. You see, here's the point. And Islam always does not tell you that you should not worry about yourself and realize your dreams and ambitions. Absolutely, please do. Do everything possible to realize your dreams and ambitions in the right way. And it's not that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not put within you desires so He can punish you for them. No. He put in you desires, human desires, and asked you to channel them the right way, not channel them the wrong way. If you channel them the right way, you're going to be rewarded. If you channel them the wrong way, then you'll be accountable. So the placing of the desires within the build of the human being, the human desires obviously, is not so that you're punished for them. Exactly the opposite. That if they're used in the right way, then you are rewarded for them. As many other authentic narrations the Sahaba radiallahu anhu mentioned. But then if they're used the wrong way, then you'll be punished. As simple as that. As simple as knowledge you all are learning here in school. Very nice. You learn knowledge. You learn microbiology. You learn chemistry. You can either be a help to humanity and ease its sufferings through whatever you do, or you can be a pain unto humanity and develop some hydrogen bombs or nuclear bombs or whatever it is that you do and bring misery unto people. That ilm that you got, how did you apply it? How did you channel it? Which way? The right way or the wrong way? To help or to hurt? If you're hurting people, you will be paying for it. See, there's not telling you cannot reach your potential. Please maximize your potential. Don't want to reach it. Maximize the potential you're in. Be the best you can be. Be all you can be. The sky is the beginning, not the limit. But remember that this life is not only about you. There are other things in this world Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to establish this framework in which you know where you stand vis-a-vis the Creator and vis-a-vis the rest of the creation. The diseased heart needs help. There are symptoms. First symptom for the diseased heart is lack of appetite. Lack of appetite. Right? What do you want to prescribe for? Aperbitan? Lack of appetite. You've seen people who are sick and they don't want to eat. Right? You put the best food in front of them. Sorry. The best. Things that you wanted to have the whole year and now it comes in front of you, but you can't. There's that lack of appetite. or loss of appetite. That's what happened to the diseased heart. You bring the food for the soul, which is the dhikr of Allah, takes 1, 2, can't anymore. Read 1 ayah, can't. Loss of appetite. You know that the dhikr of Allah is nourishment to your soul, just like food is nourishment to your body. If you have a spiritual loss of appetite, you're going to suffer spiritually. So these people now with the diseased heart, there's a struggle in the heart. The first symptom they experience is that loss of appetite. They can't. You tell them, can we go and make the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 1 hour? Can we go? Can we read the Quran? Can we learn the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Can we? I don't feel like it. Loss of appetite. Then it goes to debilitation, total, almost frail. Right? You know how people, when people, they can barely, you know. So the fard, they can barely do the fard. I can't, you know. Sunnah, no sunnah, this, no. Even the fard barely, you know, sometimes not. They're weak. There's da'f. Because first there's loss of appetite. There's no food. You're gonna be what? You're gonna be what? I don't know. I can't. You know, miss this salah, miss that salah, miss I don't know, and you're missing out on all kinds of things. All these things that actually give you the spiritual charge, that actually make you a healthy human being spiritually and physically, missing out. That takes them, that's the second symptom. So first the loss of appetite, then it translates into actual debility and weakness. Third is very, very distant. There's almost a veil between them and good things. In other words, when Allah is mentioned, they just want to stay away. It's a combination of things. Maybe they feel they've been away, they've done so much wrong and all this. So now it just hurts them to think about it. So you know what? I'm just going to suppress the thought. I'm not going to go back to Allah. I'm not ready yet. I'll have some time. Whatever. I don't want to think about it. I'm just going to go. Right? So whenever, you know, let's talk about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's talk about the love of the Creator subhanahu wa ta'ala, the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the love of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, the love of the good people, the love of doing good, the love of positive contribution, the love of just being a great human being, because a good Muslim is a good human being in the first place. Look, you know, but what does the heart like? You know, maybe gatherings that we talk bad about this person, that person. You see that person running from these oases of having good environment, running to the other oasis, the other places. They're not. I don't want to call oasis, but the other gatherings. Rushing from one, so you invite them to come to talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They almost find any excuse to run out of that one, to go to the other one, and they would run and replace it with, as if someone who is addicted, right? You've seen people who are addicted, and they just do whatever they can to get out of that environment so they can go and get their fix right away. And their fix is shaitani fix. Because they escaped the Rahmani and the Rabbani atmosphere, they have to go get shaitani fix so they can stand and they can continue doing what they are doing. Otherwise they can't, because the nur or the illumination that comes from the Rabbani gatherings are too much, and they need to have shaitani power to stand against it, in a sense, at least within themselves. So they get that aid from shaitan and its gatherings. So I can't come in. Where are you going? Are you going to do this and that? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, all right. So they gather with the people who are, you know, that talking bad, doing bad things and all this, so they can imbibe some power from that, so they can continue, so they don't feel the pain of the conscience there. They want to kill it, suppress it totally. Remember, the heart is not totally dead yet, so it's given them pain signals. Wake up, come on, let's go back. So they want to suppress it more, because now shaitan is the on the NMCC, or the National Military Command Center, right? He's in control. You got, he's doing that. He's moving the joysticks. That's another sign. وَإِذَا ذُكِرَ الَّذِينَ مِن دُونِهِ إِذَا هُمْ يَسْتَبْشِرُونَ, Al-Quran says. If Allah is mentioned, their heart is tight and they just want to run away and immediately find any excuse, get and go to something else. But if anything other than Allah is mentioned, إِذَا هُمْ يَسْتَبْشِرُونَ, Quran says, oh, they're happy, and now they feel, okay, now it's, notice how that happens. These are symptoms. Right? So we're talking about symptomology, so we can see again how things happen. Let me just talk about 4 etiologies of what causes actually disease, or what leads to cardiac disease, spiritual cardiac disease, that is. And because there are many, but I'm going to talk about 4, and then I want to wrap it up, so y'all, I don't want to keep it for longer. Excess talk, excess food, excess sleep, طعام, kalam, unnecessary or mingling with the wrong people. 4 things. Excess food, excess sleep, excess talk, mingling with the wrong people. Those are 4 reasons that directly cause heart disease. First of all, excess food, or excess sleep. Let's start. Look, you'll sleep enough when you get to the next world. For right now, this is where you need to work. Okay? So those people who just want to spend their life sleeping, I got news for you. Hopefully, you realize that this is Darul Amal. The dunya is a place of amal, not a place of Darul Naum, place of sleep. And that's why it's narrated, huh? And I don't have the sanad to it, that Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu used to say, اليوم العمل وغدا الحساب. And the sanad escapes me now, so keep it as such. Today is the actual work, and then tomorrow will hisab will come, accountability will come. Today you don't sleep. Today you work. Don't waste your time and your life sleeping. There's so much you can do with your life. Don't sleep it off. Worse is that those people who take sleeping pills now so they can sleep. Well, unless you have insomnia. I'm not telling you to be insomniacs, okay? But the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, you see in his sunnah how he used to divide his day, and also how he used to divide his night. Good sleep, right? Good sleep while it's still dark, so you can get your CNS to be replenished and all that, the central nervous system, because it needs some time to go that, and then you go into your the cycles of sleep, the REM and the non-REM and all that. You see your dreams in stage 2, REM and all that. You enjoy yourself and you get up, but you get up for Fajr. If you think by sleeping over Fajr you're actually resting your body, you're not. Again, you're thinking with your own calculations. And the Rabbani way that we were given is much better than your own calculation. You sleep, you wake up, you start your day with Alhamdulillah, you start your day with As-Salah, you start your day with Al-Quran Al-Kareem, and you have your whole day filled with barakah, and filled with blessings, and filled, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives that rizq and gives these things. It's all in the morning. Anyway, not only. The second one is excessive food, like we just did. We just ate pizza. Probably ate half a pizza by myself or something like that. Terrible. Excessive food. Food is fuel. We agree? In other words, y'all have cars? you don't fill, those of you who have cars, you don't fill it more than the tank can handle, right? Once it's full, if you keep just filling, it's going to spill. That's exactly what food is. If you keep putting, except that the tank within you can be extended, but you know what's going to happen. Food is fuel. Eat less. Practice eating less, systematically. And I'm not saying please be bulimic or anorexic, because those are problems and conditions that we don't want to get there. What I'm saying is, eat, number one, eat quality, not quantity. We talk about quality again versus quantity. Eat. Eat quality, not quantity. Good food, drink a lot of water. Fruits, vegetables. Hopefully you don't fry the vegetables, because if you're frying them, you know what's happening to them. You're killing everything good in them. Raw vegetables. Raw, green, leafy vegetables, right? Green, leafy. The greener, the leafier, the better. That's right. Reduce your meat intake. Cause as less harm as possible to the environment around you, because you're responsible for that as well. Excess food, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us, as you all know in the hadith, بِحَسْبِ ابْنِ آدَمَ لُقَيْمَةٍ يُقِمْنَ صُلْبًا. It is enough for the children of Adam, few bites, many bites that sponsor or supports their body. If you have to fill it, then 1/3 for your food. Divide your stomach into 3/3. 1/3 for food, 1/3 for water,